Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series, the Ultra Deluxe, Mega Deluxe, just Deluxe Odin figure from the 85th anniversary of Marvel. As you can see, we have the Marvel Celebrating 85 Years logo down there in the front. Before we get into the video, I got mine from ToySnowman.com. It's actually currently sold out right now, but keep an eye out at ToySnowman.com for all your action figure needs, including Marvel Legends, Mayfix, import figures, all of that good stuff. ToySnowman.com is your one-stop shop. Link in the video description below. It's my referral link, so once you sign up for brand new accounts, you get a 5% off coupon code in your Frost Reward. So link in the video description below. So looking at Odin, pretty awesome. We get some awesome artwork there on the side of Odin, looking pretty cool. Here we get a look at the whole thing, and one thing that they did on the back of this, and I haven't noticed it on any of the other ones, but I think this is a really cool thing where it has original art by illustration, or original art by Ryan Stegman. So it actually calls out the artist that did it. So that is actually pretty cool that they went and did that. And the bio reads, Odin, king of Asgard, uses his immense wisdom and skills as a warrior to defend the realms as the Allfather. So let's go ahead and get into it, and let's check out Odin. Hey guys, before we get into the video, I just recently hit 47,000 subscribers, so we're super close to hitting 50,000, and that is my goal for the end of the year, is to hit 50,000 subscribers. So I would love to earn your subscription, so if you guys like this video, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. Okay, so here is the Odin figure out of the package, and he's pretty cool. He's a big beefy boy, and he's 60 bucks. I don't know that he's really worth the $60. Because 60 bucks is a lot. Yes, he's huge. I don't feel like I've been cheated in this figure for 60 bucks, but 60 bucks is a lot of money. This is 100% unique sculpting. I don't see them using any of these pieces ever again unless they give us another Odin figure, which would be kind of weird, because what purpose would they have in giving us another Odin figure? We get some swappable parts on here, which is pretty cool. So we get two different helmets, and then we also have a hairpiece. So three different swappable pieces altogether, which is pretty cool. I like that you can kind of change the look of Odin a couple of different ways. That is nice. The horns on this one are a little bit warped on mine. Not that big of a deal. I'm sure you can kind of, do some hot water treatment and get that changed around and whatnot. So that is pretty cool. We get this staff here. Now this is old school because this goes way back to the Infinite series, the Allfather Build-A-Figure wave around the time Avengers Age of Ultron was coming out. That old Allfather Build-A-Figure actually came with this same staff, as you can see there. We get a better color, I would say, on this go-around. I will do a full comparison with, that version of Odin a little bit later on. But we get this. It's cool to have. We also get the sword here. The sword looks really good. We get a nice gray color. A silver paint would have been nice. But as it stands right now, it's not that cheap ass, super dull plastic. So it's decent looking, and then paint on the hilt, it looks pretty good. We get a little bit of turquoise in there, some gold and some bronze in the hilt. So this is a solid sword there. We get two ravens. We got one with the wings out, and then we have one that's just chilling there. They are rubbery, and you have to somehow get them to balance on top of his shoulder. That just did stupid easy because I kind of tucked it in under the fur there. Typically it would not be as easy as that to have done. So like this one, you may have to do arm straight out kind of thing to get it to balance, but it's going to be a little bit tricky, so you can't just stick him on there and he's going to stick. Well, that's not fair there either, because of the way he's on the fur. Anyway, we get those two ravens there. That is cool. And then we also get a set of hands. So we have an extra open hand there, and then we have a fist for the right. Out of the package, he's got grip hands there. And then we also get a soft goods cape. Now, soft goods is still pretty new when it comes to Hasbro and Marvel Legends. We don't typically get a whole lot of soft goods capes. Dr. Doom just recently came with one. So, maybe they're dipping their toes in the water of soft goods capes. Maybe we'll get to see some more in the future, but as of now, we do have one here. It is just white in color. There's nothing special going on with it there. There's no bendy wire or anything like that. They are very thin. They're not thick at all. So it's nice to see that they are trying it out, and hopefully they will get better and do some cool things with that. But let's go ahead and get in for a closer look at Odin and see the head sculpt, and then see the different swappable pieces, because they are really nice. Okay, so balancing the Ravens is really tough, and I had talked about that earlier and then somehow got them on there, like first try without working on it. This one took me a few minutes to really get them on there because they just have a difficult time balancing. You can work it, you know, you just have to be very careful on how you do it, right? You have to make sure it's balanced, and it's just kind of tricky. So you can do it. Again, you just got to be patient, and you can make it work. So they don't just stick on there magically. They can't fall off like that. Oh, so much time wasted. I'm just kidding. I got pictures of it, and I thought it looked pretty cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and start here. We're going to start with the head sculpt. As you can see there, that looks pretty good. The helmet is just pops like right on there. As you can see, the way his head is, it's keyed in there so you could swap out the different parts. And I like the way they do that. That is actually a pretty cool little nifty way of doing it. Instead of swapping out heads, you know, they could swap out hair pieces and things like that. We seem to be getting a few of those things happening, like the King the Conqueror with the time chair that's coming out, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive that's coming. That one, you know, has the swappable faceplate. So, you know, it seems like Hasbro's kind of dipping their toes a little bit. So again, we get a couple of different pieces. So there is that helmet there, and then we also have a hair piece. And the way to do that is to actually pop the fur off there. And as you can see, there's just these peg holes there, and then you've got the soft goods on there, and it just kind of rests over there, and that's how the soft goods hold on. But we're going to leave that there, and we're going to get the hair piece. So if you just want to do the hair, you could just pop that right on to his head, and then you have the hair piece, and then you could put this fur piece right back on there, get these pegs right in those peg holes, and clamp that down so you could see the soft goods cape is secured on there. His hair does sit under the fur though. I don't know if that should really be normal or be the case, but that's how that works out. But it looks pretty good, and that looks cool there. And then to swap out that other helmeted piece, we're going to pop this hair off there, and then we're going to get this piece, which does include hair. That first helmet does not have any hair to go along with him. We're going to pop this on there. As you can see, it just pops in like so, and then we're going to get this fur piece, and we're going to do the same thing so we could secure that cape on there. And we're going to do that like so. If I can get that in there the way it's supposed to be. And there we go. So there we have the... Oh, no, I popped that off a little bit. There we go. So we have the helmet on there, and that looks really good. It looks more ornamental there. Got a raven up at the top, so that looks really good. I like the color. It's a nice gold color. It's not painted. It's kind of the molded plastic, the metallic looking, but it does look really good. I like the way it came out. It doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look like it's all warped. It doesn't look like it has... there's some marbleization, but nothing too bad or anything like that, so it came out looking good. So those are the different swappable helmets and hairpiece. And that is just an awesome feature to have. The rest of the figure has some crazy coloring to it. Like, we get this metallic turquoise-ish blue for his armor there, and it just looks really good. I think it's a little dark, actually, here on screen, but in person, like, it's a nice turquoise blue, which is pretty cool, and it just looks good. It matches the chain here, as you can see there, and then you have this front piece there that's a nice gold color, and then you have this bronze like chainmail back there, or scale mail, I guess it would be. And then some of the armor pieces, it looks like there's some like horns there on those gauntlet pieces. We get some of that bronze coloring in these shoulder pads. The shoulder pads are keyed in to the shoulders, so you know the arms can move along with them nice and easy. You have this skirt piece there, which is done in a brown color. It's got some nice texture to give it a real leather look with some gold paint in there. Just kind of crazy details in there, which is nice. And then he's got these different horn pieces for those knee pads. And the cool thing about it is the left one has a little bit of a broken horn there, so it's not perfect like the one here on the right. A little bit of horn pieces coming off the sides there on the boots. And then, yeah, so crazy stuff going on with this Odin figure. It looks really good. Now, looking at the ravens, a closer look, you just have this one with its beak open, and it's got the wings out, as you can see there. And then the other one is a more relaxed raven there. And we get some nice purple on the back of the wings there, which is cool. Closed beak. This one did not get any paint treatment in it though, so this one's just all black there. So it's just this one that gets a little bit of the paint, and that looks kind of nice with the purple detail in there. So that is the look at Odin. Let's go ahead and check out his articulation. Okay, the articulation for Odin, I've got to be like super far back to make this work. Odin's not really going to be able to move his head in very many different directions because he's got a lot going on there. So, like, you know, he can turn it a little bit, but the way it's all set up, even like with the hair under this fur portion there, you know, he has a hard time turning his head and everything. So he's really not going to be able to look up. He's really not going to be able to look down or anything like that. So just a heads up on that. That kind of sucks that that's the case, but that's kind of, I guess, the way it is, unfortunately. You see the shoulder, what happened. You can move that shoulder. You can do a full rotation in there, but moving that shoulder pad around can knock this fur right off of those shoulder pegs there. So let's kind of peg this back in and get that in place. So just heads up on that. You can get the shoulder to go straight on out like so. And then you saw we did that full rotation. You have an upper bicep swivel in there. Single jointed elbow on this guy because he's got thick arms. So you get that much bend there at the elbow. That's not a whole lot, so that's a little unfortunate, but we tend to see that with the large guys. You have a swivel at that elbow as well. Wrist swivel. We do have hinges. We have vertical hinges on these grip hands because he grips that staff and then he also grips the sword, which is great. So we have the right hinge for those hands. Now the other hands, the open hand as well as the fist, do have these standard horizontal hand hinges on them. So it's a nice touch. So for the sword, wielding the sword, you can move it in those directions. So that is really good. The torso piece, we have a ball joint at the waist, so he can tilt to his left that much. He can tilt to his right that much there, which is great. You get a swivel there. You can go back a little bit, not really a whole lot, and then come forward is a little bit. That's actually more than I thought it was going to be, if I'm being honest with you. So that is pretty good. You can see how much it tucks in there. So that is pretty cool. Legs go out that far apart. That this piece here, it's rubbery enough that you can kind of spread it out a little bit. Oh, we forgot to show the back of the figure. We actually get some details on the back of the figure, which is nice. So that is cool. So legs that far apart. You get an upper thigh cut in there. He can kick forward that far. So not a whole lot. The leg doesn't really go back. Upper thigh cut, which I think I mentioned already. You get a double jointed knee, which gives us that much bend there at the knee. It's very stiff at the knee, by the way. No calf or boot swivel, it seems. Let me see. No swivel at the boot or anything, so just a heads up on that. You can hinge the foot down only a little bit. You get some hinge up, not a lot, but you do have a nice ankle pivot and peg holes at the bottom of the feet there. So I would never have expected for Odin to have a whole lot of articulation, but even with that being said, he is still pretty limited for a big guy. So you know, I don't know how much he needs to be moving around. You know, he's the king of Asgard. He should be kind of you know, just look very intimidating. I know he would head into battle and stuff, but he's just not really going to be able to do a whole lot. And I think that's okay because, again, bulky figure, it's hard to add in, you know, an elbow joint that's going to look good, you know, and function well. So that's some of the limitations, unfortunately, but still pretty restrictive. Okay, so here we have the new Odin figure next to the Allfather Build-A-Figure from years back. There were two versions of this Build-A-Figure. There was the Allfather Odin figure and then the King Thor Build-A-Figure, which had like a mechanical arm on there, didn't have a helmet. I do have a second Build-A-Figure. I didn't bring it out for this particular video, but I do have that version. You know, it also has red cape instead of the blue. So we've come a long way, like looking at Marvel Legends of old versus Marvel Legends now. It's like when you look at Toy Biz and compare now, people love Toy Biz figures. I tend to not love Toy Biz figures. I love what they did and what they started. The line wouldn't be what it is without Toy Biz. But Toy Biz figures, to me, proportion-wise, they didn't look great. But they're also older figures, so technology has changed when it comes to action figures and things like that. So naturally, of course, Hasbro stuff would be better. Maybe not necessarily in terms of paint applications, but better proportion-wise and everything like that. Now, when you look at Hasbro of today versus Hasbro 10 years ago, was a massive shift because 10 years ago versus what we got now, and it's pretty insane the additional details they get, the paint quality, is better in most cases, and then like the plastic itself, whereas like shiny plastic skin tone arms was kind of weird back then. We used to get in the faces and things like that. We tend not to have that so much now. It took a long time for those changes to happen, but they have come, and it's been very welcome, of course. So yeah, old, new wins by a mile. Okay, and then here, Odin with the 80th anniversary Thor. So father and son. If we want to do grandfather, I do have a boar figure, but it's in the Asgard. Defenders of Asgard, I think, is the official title of that box set from San Diego Comic-Con. I never opened it, so I've never actually held that boar figure out of the package to see what he's really all about. But we do have that boar figure that was on like the Absorbing Man Build-A-Figure body, so similar to like the old Dormammu Build-A-Figure in terms of size. He would definitely be a whole hell of a lot smaller than Odin even still, but he would definitely be bigger than that Thor there. And then as for another comparison, here we have the Destroyer. Now the Destroyer is actually about the same height as this particular Odin with that helmet configuration, because just a hair shorter, I think. But yeah, the Destroyer was obviously, you know, it's that 2-pack from last year's anniversary set, the Avengers 60th anniversary, with the Thor figure that it came with. Odin is much bulkier, but they are about the same height, you know, when you factor in the helmet. You know, without the helmet, obviously Odin's going to be a little bit shorter. But there are Asgardians. I did not bring out a Loki figure, unfortunately, but a Loki would be tiny compared to Odin. Well, it didn't feel right to not have Loki out, so I did grab one of my extra retro Lokis. I think this is the one that was on that retro card. So teeny tiny compared to Odin. Okay, so that is my review of the Odin figure. You guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of it? Is it one that you're picking up? Do you already have it on pre-order? Let me know down in the comments below. I think it's a good one. It's a big, large, bulky one for $60. I think you know, a sale would be a great time to pick this up. But if it's one that you really need to add Odin into your collection, or just want a cool looking action figure, this is one to pick up now. I don't think this one's going to be in stores, so it's one that you're going to have to probably get online, or maybe find at a GameStop or something like that. So I would always check out online shops. You know, check out toysnomad.com. Again, link in the video description below for your action figure needs. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on Odin. Let me know what you guys think of the Marvel 85th anniversary line. We've had a lot of bangers in terms of action figures, and I think Odin is another great one to add to the edition. One more to round out the full lineup of the 85th anniversary, and that's the Hulkbuster. Amazon has already shipped mine. It is on the way. But here with Odin, I really like it. You guys let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.